I'm in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Well, I'm not in the World Golf Hall of Fame. I'm actually just standing in the World Golf Hall of Fame. At least they saved the locker for me. Just my luck. Phil Mickelson already has it. Tough to get a locker in this place. They have 150 of the world's greatest players, writers, personalities, architects, all the people who made the game of golf so special. And we have a special show for you, bringing you not only this World Golf Hall of Fame, but the World Golf Village, the two great courses, and all there is to do in St. Augustine. Stay with us for this special episode of The Traveling Golfer from the World Golf Village in St. Augustine, Florida.
American owned, family operated, 5 generations, fiercely focused on one thing: putting the best beer on the bar. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery.
Folks, it's nice to have your own personal tour guide around the World Golf Village. Luckily, having known Dave Cordero, Director of Communications here for a number of years, working together in the golf industry, I latched onto him. And for just $2, I got the grand tour of the World Golf Village. Thanks for taking us around, and hopefully so many of our viewers will come back to the World Golf Village.
This is a golf mecca. There's really something for everybody. Families come to visit, golfers come to visit. We got 2 championship style golf courses. The World Golf Hall of Fame behind us is beautiful, and as Gary Player says, you gotta go.
I agree completely with Gary Player. He's my idol. This is the place that you've gotta go if you're a golf fan. And if you're not, guess what? You might become one.
Really, the World Golf Village, it's conveniently located off 95 freeway.
But by air, it's very convenient too. So let's go through them. Jacksonville Airport is?
We're 30 miles from Jacksonville Airport. Very easy to get here. Of course, if you're like Gary Player and you want to fly into St. Augustine, it's a little quicker that way. But
a private airport,
yep.
But it's now served by Frontier Airlines.
You're absolutely right.
So there are directs from the Northeast into
absolutely right.
St. Augustine via Frontier.
Orlando's 2 hours from here. It's very easy to cruise down, go to Disney, go to Epcot.
Also, the Orlando Sanford Airport
right.
is very close. Daytona Beach has its own airport you can fly into.
The vision when this place was built in 1998 was to make it a golf mecca, make it easy to get to. It's a perfect spot.
Convenient. It can't be more convenient to come here when you're visiting Florida, and it's really worthwhile, folks. There's so much here, starting with 2 great golf courses.
The Slammer and the Squire. Great golf course. It's Sam Snead and Gene Sarazen co-designed this golf course. And the King and the Bear, Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer designed, which is just a mile down the road. The King and the Bear is definitely a course that's going to be for a better player. I like the Slammer and Squire because I can hack it around a little bit and get around. But the golf courses are in fantastic shape. They keep them in just being here in Jacksonville and getting that unique combination of rain and sun all the time. It's very green, it's very lush. Golfers are going to find that it's challenging yet very forgiving. The pace of play is great. And then when you're done playing golf, we have Bill Murray's Caddy Shack, which is a great place to go retreat and have a cocktail.
That's a fun place to go eat.
Oh, it's fantastic.
If you're a golfer, what more do you want than a fun 19th hole?
We also have the Renaissance Hotel. It's a 301 room luxury hotel, fantastic amenities. I mean, we see a very diverse group of folks coming to World Golf Village. But again, for the golfer, once you get here, you never really have to leave. I mean, there's shuttles. You can take a shuttle all the way to downtown historic St. Augustine, oldest city in America. There's a lot to see here.
Well, we mentioned just about everything in your world, except right behind us here. And this is what first drew me here. World Golf Hall of Fame just absolutely called to me, and I could spend days in there.
Tony, the game of golf has such a long, rich history. I had the opportunity to go to the College Football Hall of Fame, and I asked their historian, how many members? It was 1,200 members. So you go to the World Golf Hall of Fame, there's 150 members, each with a unique story to tell. Each has their own locker that's been populated with memorabilia, trophies, artifacts that they have chosen. 35,000 square feet of exhibition space. As a golf fan, you can't wait to turn each corner, learn about the game. You can putt on an 1890s putting green and see what the speed was like. We have a putting green with about a 15 stimp meter. You can see how fast it is to putt
15.
on the
Wow.
There's a lot to see, and thankfully we just had a company donate about an $80,000 golf simulator. You can play over 100 golf courses, the Old Course, Pebble Beach, and that's an experience you can have at the Hall of Fame.
It supports the traditions of the game and helps to reinforce that foundation, which is what I think keeps people in the game once they have that first attraction to beating a ball around a little bit. And no Hall of Fame does it better than this one.
No, you're absolutely right. And our mission is to honor the legacy of those who have made the game great. It's one thing as a golf fan to come back and read and learn about some of the unique stories. And there was 20 Hall of Fame members who served in the armed forces at some point, which was incredible to me. But just to see specific war memorabilia in certain lockers and to hear some of our members talk about what serving in the military meant.
The Caddyshack restaurant, named after the movie, isn't the only connection to the motion picture industry here at the World Golf Village.
That's right, Tony. At World Golf Village, we have an IMAX movie theater, which we're proud it's the largest digital screen in Northeast Florida. And what's fantastic about it is not only do we host school groups and show documentaries, but we also host large blockbuster type films. So any large summer film that might be a bestseller, we're going to have it here at the IMAX movie theater as well.
Having been to the World Golf Village many times, one of my favorite activities is that late night sunset stroll around the lake, taking a look down and learning.
Yeah, Tony, it's a great time of night. It's my favorite time of night also. The sun goes down just over the tower. It's a beautiful walk. And what we call the Walk of Champions, which is the entire area around the lake. And you're going to have all 150 Hall of Fame members with their autograph in granite. And you can kind of see who your favorite Hall of Fame members are. And as you walk through, it's a nice walk down memory lane, if you will.
And of course, at the end of this Traveling Golfer episode, we'll be signing my name in the Walk of Champions, or maybe not.
Maybe.
All right, we'll see. Folks, you'll have to come back and see if my name is down here on the Walk of Champions.
Introducing the all-new Exotics EX9 Tour Adjustable Driver. Featuring a pear-shaped 430cc head with a deep face, the EX9 Tour Driver delivers Exotic's legendary low-spin power. The driver's newly designed hosel is adjustable with 8 settings for dialing in optimum launch, trajectory, and accuracy. The Tour's launch control system includes a rear center sole weight positioned for a higher MOI and low spin power. This advanced versatility gives players the ultimate control in achieving optimal distance and ball flight. Experience the low spin power of the Exotics EX9 Tour Adjustable Driver. To find a dealer near you, visit touredge.com.
Jeff Hartman, Director of Golf at both the Slammer and the Squire and the King and the Bear golf courses at the World Golf Village. Jeff, you've got 2 great properties here to work with.
Yes, we do. We have 2 great golf courses. It's a great place for people to come down from the north, and a great destination with the World Golf Hall of Fame and the 2 golf courses.
Slammer and the Squire, in tribute to Slam and Sammy Snead and Gene Sarazen. But there was a man behind the scenes here, huh?
Bobby Weed is the constructor of this golf course, and Bobby Weed, many of you may not know, is a disciple of Pete Dye, and famous in the area for doing the big golf course up the street there with TPC Sawgrass. But Bobby Weed has a lot of Pete Dye's characteristics on the golf course. There's a lot of false fronts, some elephants hidden and buried into the greens, which makes some putting some challenges, but also some optical illusions with bunkers that are placed in front of the greens that look like they're greenside, but they're actually 80 to 60 yards away from the greens. Great design golf course.
Now, of course, Bobby Weed, a Floridian, knows how to work with this landscape.
Absolutely.
And did a beautiful job on the Slammer and the Squire. I'm going to say, in contrast to the other course, this is the more player-friendly course.
Yeah, I would say that it is a little bit more player-friendly. It's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit more generous around the tee boxes and around the fairways. The greens and the putting can be a little bit more challenging, but being a little bit shorter, you can get a little bit closer to the pin.
And I'll tell you, there's such a beautiful, gentle roll to the property at the Slammer and the Squire that we call it the walk in the park test.
Yeah.
This is one of the courses that really gives the feeling of relaxation. That helps you play a little better.
It does, and that's great because it's really carved out of the wilderness here. And the front nine is, you don't see another hole. There's no side-by-side holes until you get to the back nine. Just a lot of wilderness and lakes and big trees out there and oak trees, so it's great. And then when you get to the backside here, we do have some holes that are side-by-side, but it all plays into the shadows of the Hall of Fame tower, which is great finishing.
Visitors are going to find putting surfaces here. They're as good as they get anywhere. Smooth, a fast but manageably fast speed, and enough interest to keep you paying attention throughout the round.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things we pride ourselves on is our agronomy conditions. And our director of agronomy has been here since the beginning and oversees both the golf courses. So there's a consistency that we maintain, which we're very proud of. And the greens here are just fantastic. We try to keep them at a medium speed so everybody's happy. The members like them quick. We have public, we have pace of play. So we kind of keep them around the 10, 11 stimp meter so that everybody's happy, but they're always in great shape.
The flip side, just a little bit down the road, the King and the Bear. Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, a cooperated effort to put this golf course together, and it certainly has gained its share of respect throughout the golf world.
It is our premier property and is what we're known for here at the World Golf Hall of Fame and the World Golf Village Resort. The collaboration of Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer designed a great golf course, and they both have great design companies, and they both used a little bit of their flavor on all of the holes. It's not Jack's is the front and Arnie's is the back. They collaborated and worked together on all 18 holes, so you've got a little bit of flavor on each one of them. If you're a fan of Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer from the days, you got to come and play the golf course because it fills a bucket list requirement.
Now, it's the longer of the two golf courses, and from the back tees, it's quite long. Over 7,000 yards. And
yes.
This means that it's important for visitors to pick the right tee to play from when they're at the King and the Bear.
Absolutely. And we do have 5 sets of tees, so the course is playable for all levels of golfers. We have starters that take you out to the first tee, tell you about the golf course, offer you a chilled apple, which is our signature item here with Honors Golf. The 2 signature holes that we have at the King and the Bear, number 15 is Arnold Palmer's favorite hole. When asked in the Ryder Cup issue for the Sports Illustrated if he could choose any of his holes that he designed, which ones would he put on his Dream 18, his mythical best 18 design holes? Number 15 at the King and the Bear made that list and became one of his dream best design holes. A very risk-reward short par 4 that has a peninsula-shaped green that goes out into a lake that makes it even more challenging. Jack Nicklaus chose the next hole because in their inaugural round of golf at the King and the Bear, Jack birdied that hole right after Arnie had birdied his signature hole. So he chose 16. So when you come into the last 4 holes, remember that the 15th is Arnie's favorite and the 16th is Jack's favorite. It's a great finish to the great golf course. And after your round of golf, both golf courses have great restaurants, and you can pick one of our signature items named after one of the 4 players that consulted on these 2 golf courses. The King Mill, it's like a French dip. It's fantastic. I love it. That's one of the items I get all the time. We also have a Squire wedge, well, which is a salad that you can choose. So we have good, healthy choices for you also.
Maybe they'll have a Tony Melt after I leave here, named after my play on the back nine as I start to dissolve through the day. It sort of goes that way. That would be an appropriate sandwich for me. The restaurants, of course, are convenient, so you have one at each clubhouse.
You can stop in beforehand. The restaurant's open at 7, so you can come in for breakfast. It's convenient because both courses are designed so that as you make the turn from 9 to 10, you can also stop in and pick up a hot dog or a beer to keep you going.
The day never really ends here at the World Golf Village, because after golf, there is a championship putting course that I'm going to say hosts some great tournaments with a little bit of wagering when visitors come to the World Golf Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, and that's one of the unique things we have is this putting course is a natural grass 18-hole par 36, so every hole is par 2. So if you didn't get enough golf here at the Slammer and Squire and challenge with the greens, head on over to the putting course. The greens are a little bit easier, but still a challenge and really fun to enjoy.
We got them all right here at the Slammer and the Squire and the King and the Bear.
I've worked in the golf business for over the past 30 years, designing, building, and managing golf complexes, primarily in the Northeast. I've also been all over the world playing all the great courses in Ireland, Scotland, as well as North America and the Caribbean. I gotta say that if you want a really quality golf experience, you got 2 great golf courses here, very strategically designed, fair dimensions, great conditioned, beautiful aesthetics, and probably most impressive is the Golf Hall of Fame. If you have any interest in the history of golf, this is a must-see. The origins of the game, great artifacts, great history, fantastic afternoon, round out your vacation.
We're with Dr. Tony Parker, golf historian for the World Golf Hall of Fame, originally a history professor in the field of
Scottish-American relations.
Scottish. That's the key word,
Exactly.
Golf history.
That's right, started there.
So tell me, how did you wind up here at the World Golf Hall of Fame?
Well, my last post was actually in St. Andrews, Scotland. I lived there for 21 years, and I was curator of golf collections for the University of St. Andrews, which had been there for 600 years. So we had 600 years of golf history right there. First printed word of golf, 1457, we had a first edition.
Wow.
And all the way up from there.
That's amazing. And then you found your natural home to
This
be
is
at the
it.
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the top job in the world to me. I mean, where else can you go to really explore the full history on a global basis of the history of golf, and in particular, professional golf?
The first time I walked through the Hall of Fame, I actually got goosebumps. I just said, I'm in the midst of such greatness, something that'll be unlike anything I ever experienced in my life. You get to do it every day.
I do, and I feel that every time I walk in. And of course, the first image you see when you walk through the doors is that image from 1986 when Jack Nicklaus won the Masters for the 6th time. And you walk into a gallery from there and you see the giants of the game, and it just gives a sense of awe and wonder is there.
Do you ever get the feeling that you are passing on a special treasure to people when you talk about golf history that will stay with them for the rest of their life and maybe inspire them to embrace golf a little bit more?
I get letters and cards from people, and phone calls as well, and emails. But there's one letter in particular I received from a young girl, 13 years old. I gave her and her aunt a tour of the museum, and she sent me this wonderful letter saying how inspired she was, and she signed it, Future Lady Professional Golfer. So that's exactly the kind of response we want to get when people leave here.
That's a great story, because you can't do anything better than bring the game of golf to the young people.
That's right.
So that they have something to keep with them for the rest of their life.
When you follow the history and see the greats of the game, we're all about telling the stories behind the actual game itself, about the people and the personalities. I recognize that, I relate to that. And once they find that connection, it stays with them from now on.
Do you have a special corner of the Hall of Fame that you like more than any of the others? Is there your little home that you look at it every once in a while and say, this is my spot?
The locker room, where we have 150 members, and it reflects their personalities, not just their golf game, but their personalities. For example, you've got Sandy Lyle's locker. You have a Lego tractor. He's a farmer. In Jumbo Ozaki's, you have a samurai sword. In Ray Floyd's, there's a Louisville Slugger. He was drafted to play professional baseball before he turned to golf. And then you have, in golf course architects' lockers, like Pete Dye, a pair of muddy boots. And that really reflects that he's not a guy who sits behind the desk, he's out there on the field.
That's a great one for Pete. There's no question about it.
We have journalists and writers and broadcasters. Peter Alice's microphones that he used.
Dr. Tony Parker, thanks for unlocking the doors to the World Golf Hall of Fame, not only to the traveling golfer, but to the world of golf. This is a very, very special entree to a special place for all of our viewers.
Well, thank you.
William McBroom, Director of Sales and Marketing for the Renaissance Resort. This cozy little home, so close to everything that the golfers would need. Convenience is the middle name for Renaissance.
Absolutely. We host many golf groups. Golfers love it here. We feature a full restaurant, Bellagio Italian Grill, with a bountiful buffet breakfast. The golf courses, World Golf Hall of Fame, right here outside the window, just steps away.
I kidded by saying a cozy little home. This is actually a fairly large hotel.
Pretty large, yes, with the 301 guest rooms, as well as 45,000 square feet of meeting space, convention center back there, another 50,000 in the area, flexible outdoor space.
With all that convention space, I've got to think that large companies like to come here because you can house them, they can do their meetings, and they can go play a little bit.
Absolutely, whether it's a full day of golf or just getting out before or after the conference, they love it.
I noticed that the golfers really like to congregate at the bar in the atrium here. It's part of the Bellagio restaurant, the lounge.
We feature Our Life Live on Fridays, specialty drinks during the week, all sorts of Renaissance programs to get things started, and then people just hang out and enjoy it. We have a nice menu there too, so if they want some bar snacks while they're having a good time.
Big part of any golf trip is the infrastructure that makes it work, makes it convenient, makes it fun. All of that happens right here at the Renaissance. We end our traveling golfer visit to the World Golf Hall of Fame appropriately at the Wall of Fame. All 150 inductees have their faces on this wall. It's sort of overwhelming to be in the midst of them, but that's what the experience is like at the World Golf Village. You have so much golf, history, activity, the greater St. Augustine area. We thank everybody from the Renaissance Hotel, the Hall of Fame, and everyone who made this such a special show. And in the last moment, if I can just dream for a second and think what would it be like to have my face on this wall.
Tony Leodora's golf wardrobe, courtesy of Antigua, the leader in modern golf apparel. Tour Edge is the official equipment sponsor of the Traveling Golfer.